Thank you for coming. I'm David Witt. I'm here to share my passion for making the world a little bit better. And my idea of doing that is through helping jobs get created and stay. Did you know that there are about 1.5 million jobs created each year in the United States? The interesting thing is they all came from new businesses, even though half of them will fail within their first 4 years. That's a lot of jobs. So our failure rate is high, but what if I could increase that, save a little bit? Well, my research is in entrepreneurial burnout. And burnout is the opposite end of engagement. The outcomes, saw on the screen, can be bad or good. Entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs here are often quoted, "You have to be burning with an idea. If you're not passionate enough from the start, you'll never stick it out." So the idea of passion being an energy to prevent burnout is pretty much in the common literature. But passion doesn't always work. Consider the story of John DeLorean. You have to be as old as me, I guess, to know. He had a lot of passion. But his business ended quite terribly. He ended up being arrested for drugs. He tried to fund his company that way, trafficking. So when does passion lead to engagement? And sometimes not. It works or it doesn't work. So that's what led me to my general research question. Steve Jobs is a doer, or was, excuse me. He was tasked with radical changes. He came up with dramatic industry changes, ideas, and his role at Apple, he got to execute those things. That's what he lived for. The iPod, revolutionary. Music, streaming, legal, revolutionary. Consider John DeLorean. I would classify him more as an analyzer. He was an engineer by trade, many patents in the automotive industry. But when he ran DeLorean Motor Corp, shortly after it started, he had to deal with radical business structural changes to prolong the capital structure. He didn't fit that ability very well. So I'm theorizing that the duties you take on as an entrepreneur have certain characteristics. They fit a doer better, like Steve Jobs, or an analyzer, like John DeLorean was, and the individual's preferences, and that changes passion. Which leads me to very practical benefits. What if the entrepreneur is unaware of this, checks himself, designs his role in his business, his mission statement, his team, it delegates what he can't do well, focuses the business on what he does well? Will that help survival? As the business evolves, as John DeLorean's did, the demands change. What has to happen changes. What if John DeLorean had outsourced restructuring and had a competent team take over keeping that business in operation? He focused on engineering his cars. He may still be here. We may all be driving electric DeLoreans today. That brings me to my conclusion. Basically, imagine if I could make a 5% difference in the survival rate, if this information would help managing these small teams. That would amount to 75,000 new jobs every year. That would make a difference in people's lives. That would change the world and make it better, I believe. So that's my passion. Do you think this research is worthwhile? Thank you. I'm David Witt.